Hi, I'm Dawn Henwood from Clarity Studio. Much of the art of knowledge translation is finding your research story. It's important to remember that your research story and your research history are not the same thing. Your research history is simply a chronology, how you got started, what you discovered, maybe the grants you acquired along the way. That information on its own isn't necessarily a story that's going to appeal to your target audience, the audience you want to impact. Some of us do have a dramatic story of how we discovered our research passion. For example, I'm thinking of a cancer researcher who themselves had a battle with cancer. So that obviously sparked an interest in them that they took into the lab. But for many of us, we kind of fall in love with our research passion in a very ordinary and gradual way. Maybe it was just a subject you explored a little bit as an undergraduate. You thought, hey, this is kind of interesting. And over time, the more deeply you looked into it, the more you got interested, the more you got hooked, and now it's your passion. Finding your research passion is, in some ways, like finding your romantic partner. And some love stories have a really dramatic beginning, and others have a really slow or mundane beginning, but there's still a story there. Let me give you a couple of contrasting examples. I know an elderly couple who had an amazingly dramatic beginning to their love story. He was a minister, she was a nurse. They were both in England. They didn't know each other. So unknowingly, they both got on the same boat to Africa. They met on the boat. They fell in love instantly. And when they got to Africa, they got married. Happily ever after. What an amazing story in a nutshell. And it started with such a dramatic beginning. Well, I can think of other friends who've also had amazing relationships. And I can think of couples who started as high school friends, and then just over time, they got friendlier. They became high school sweethearts. They went on to university together. They moved in together. They got married. Now, that doesn't mean that that second story doesn't have its own drama. You have to dig into it. The key is to look through your research history and try to identify those dramatic moments that could intrigue your audience and resonate with them so that you can build a story around that. Every love story, no matter how ordinary it looks on the surface, has those moments. And you can find them by asking questions like, when did you know you'd found your true love? Or what happened after you found your true love? For example, I'm thinking of another couple. They had a very kind of slow and you might say mundane beginning to their relationship. But the moment that the husband knew he had found true love was when he was working late, getting ready for an annual event. When he came home, his partner had gone to bed, but she had left him a turkey sandwich for him in the fridge. And for him, he just realized, here's somebody who's not a casual acquaintance. Here's somebody who really cares about me and is thinking about me coming home and finding this turkey sandwich. So you could build a story around that that has to do with a shift in an understanding about what love really means. That second question, what happened after you found your true love? Lots of examples about people who met, fell in love, and then launched a company. I also think about the Obamas in this light. They met, they worked together as lawyers. What happened after that? Well, the rest, we might say, is history with a big capital H. So you can ask similar questions as you explore the way that you fell in love with your research subject. When was it that you knew you'd found your research passion? Can you identify a moment or moments? And how was your life different afterwards? How has your life changed because of this passion that you've discovered? Start looking at your history, screening it, vetting it for these dramatic moments, and then you will have the beginning of a knowledge translation story that's worth telling. If you have found this video helpful, please subscribe, and I invite you to check out other videos and resources on my website as well, claritystudio.ca.